Sex is not only an instinct but also a bridge that nurtures love, health, and happiness. Science shows that pleasure and sexual satisfaction directly affect mental well-being, physical health, and the quality of relationships. Yet, not everyone knows how to refresh and enhance this intimate experience. In this article, from the perspective of urology and pelvic surgery, we'll explore 10 revolutionary secrets to boost pleasure, improve performance, and deepen the emotional bond in your intimate life. First way, open communication. In any intimate relationship, communication is often described as the cornerstone of long-term satisfaction. And when it comes to sexual life, its role becomes even more critical. Scientific research has shown that sexual satisfaction does not solely depend on physical technique or desire but is strongly tied to a couple's ability to share and listen to each other. Open communication creates a safe environment where individuals can express needs, preferences, and boundaries without fear of judgment. Yet, in reality, many people never receive proper guidance on how to talk about sex in a natural way, which makes the topic feel like a taboo. It is essential to recognize that conversations about sex should not be confined to the bedroom. Nor should they occur right before or after intimacy, when emotions are vulnerable or easily misinterpreted. Instead, the most effective time is often during ordinary, relaxed moments while having breakfast, taking a walk in the park, or enjoying a coffee together. These everyday settings allow discussions to flow more naturally, without the pressure or awkwardness that can arise in more emotionally charged contexts. From a biological perspective, open communication has measurable effects on the body. When someone feels truly heard and understood, cortisol levels, the stress hormone, decrease, while oxytocin, the bonding hormone, increases. Oxytocin not only strengthens trust and emotional closeness but also enhances sexual arousal. This is a clear demonstration of how honest words and thoughtful conversations can directly improve the quality of sexual experiences. Furthermore, open communication helps dismantle misconceptions and unrealistic expectations. For instance, many people assume that sexual pleasure is achieved only through penetrative intercourse, when in fact satisfaction can also come from kissing, caressing, or stimulating erogenous zones outside the genitals. By discussing and exploring these possibilities, couples not only discover new ways to revitalize their connection but also establish a deeper sense of trust. In conclusion, open communication is not an optional skill but a vital component of a healthy sexual life. It helps partners understand each other better, lowers stress, builds emotional intimacy, and fosters long-term love. By daring to speak honestly, to listen empathetically, and to adapt together, couples can fully embrace joy and fulfillment in their intimate journey. Second way, multiple conversations. In the field of sexology, one of the most important insights is that talking about sex cannot be a one-time event. Every relationship undergoes changes over time, from shifts in hormonal levels, stress at work, to the natural effects of aging on sexual desire. For this reason, maintaining multiple conversations about intimacy is crucial for couples to adapt, understand each other, and sustain connection. If a couple relies on a single discussion, they are likely to miss the evolving needs and emotions that naturally occur as life progresses. At first, talking about sex may feel awkward or embarrassing. This is normal because most of us were never taught how to discuss sexual matters openly. Yet, rather than letting discomfort hold you back, you can begin with small, gentle questions such as, "How did you feel when we tried that?" Or, "Would you enjoy it if next time we focused more on foreplay?" Over time, these simple inquiries evolve into a healthy habit. The relationship grows to include not only conversations about work, children, or finances but also a shared space for intimacy and sexual well-being. From a scientific standpoint, frequent discussions help reduce performance anxiety. Studies show that the pressure to be perfect in bed is a major factor behind erectile difficulties, premature ejaculation, or low desire. However, when couples regularly communicate, they are more likely to normalize these issues as common and solvable. Together, they can explore solutions, whether it's adjusting daily routines, experimenting with new approaches, or seeking professional help. This shared effort reduces stress and reinforces the idea that they are a team working toward the same goal. Additionally, multiple conversations create opportunities for discovery. Each dialogue can reveal something new, a hidden desire, a boundary that needs to be respected, or a playful idea that reignites passion. Over time, these discoveries prevent monotony and bring renewed excitement to sexual life. Ultimately, one conversation is never enough. By embracing ongoing discussions, sex becomes a journey of growth and mutual learning. Through repeated exchanges, partners build resilience, adaptability, and intimacy, keeping passion alive while deepening their love over the long term. Third way, using I language. In sexual communication, words are more than tools for conveying information, they mirror emotions, respect, and the level of care within a relationship. One of the most widely recommended techniques by psychologists is to use I statements rather than you statements. Though it may seem like a minor adjustment, this shift profoundly impacts how couples connect and resolve sensitive issues. For example, saying, "I would love if we extended foreplay," is very different from, "You never satisfy me." The first expresses a personal need, while the second places blame. This change in framing makes a partner far less likely to feel attacked and more willing to listen and collaborate. Psychologically, I statements reduce defensive reactions. Human beings instinctively protect themselves when they feel criticized, particularly in areas as intimate as sexuality. By using I, you avoid placing your partner in a defensive position. Instead, you invite them into an open conversation without pressure. This creates a safe emotional space where both individuals can be honest about their desires, concerns, and boundaries. Moreover, I language fosters deeper self-awareness. When you say, "I want," or "I feel," you are prompted to clarify your own needs and experiences. This self-recognition is crucial, because without knowing what truly brings you pleasure or discomfort, you cannot effectively share it with your partner. Neuroscience research suggests that framing needs in positive, personal terms strengthens the brain's association between emotional safety and sexual experience, which ultimately enhances pleasure. In real life, many relationships stall because partners focus too heavily on each other's shortcomings instead of seeking solutions together. Using I shifts the perspective from blame to cooperation. "I need more time to feel comfortable," or "I'd like to try this and see if it excites us." Such statements not only encourage empathy but also inspire curiosity and creativity in exploring sexual intimacy. Ultimately, I language is not just a communication tool, it is a foundation for respect, trust, and lasting love. In the intimate realm where both partners may feel vulnerable, speaking from the I perspective acts as a bridge to emotional alignment. It turns sensitive conversations into opportunities for growth, allowing couples to strengthen both their passion and their partnership. Fourth way, experimentation and exploration. In the journey of intimacy, experimentation and exploration are keys to keeping a relationship fresh and exciting. Sex should not be viewed as a fixed script, but rather as a creative experience where each couple is free to learn, adapt, and expand their boundaries. One of the simplest yet most effective starting points is masturbation, whether practiced individually or together. When a person explores their own body, they learn what brings pleasure, which makes it easier to communicate these preferences with a partner. Shared masturbation also fosters mutual understanding, breaking down the fear of being replaced. Instead of competition, it becomes a complementary tool that enriches intimacy and strengthens trust. Beyond self-discovery, exploring erogenous zones across the body can be both playful and rewarding. Neuroscientific studies reveal that areas such as the ears, nipples, inner elbows, and even feet can trigger the brain's pleasure centers due to neural proximity to the genital regions. This explains why touch in seemingly unrelated areas can evoke arousal. Couples can make this exploration fun and structured by mapping the body with washable markers, green for areas that feel pleasurable, red for those that are off limits, and yellow for zones open to experimentation. This visual approach turns communication into a game while making boundaries clear and respectful. Equally important is continuous dialogue during exploration. Saying things like, "I like this," or "I'm not comfortable with that," ensures safety and emotional security. Experimentation is not about achieving perfection or a specific goal but about enjoying the process of discovery. It reframes sex as a journey rather than a destination, emphasizing connection, trust, and shared curiosity. Ultimately, experimentation enriches not only physical pleasure but also emotional intimacy. By daring to try new sensations and approaches, couples build resilience against monotony, deepen their understanding of one another, and transform intimacy into a dynamic, evolving adventure. Fifth way, female pleasure, clitoral stimulation and foreplay. For women, understanding the body is essential to achieving sexual satisfaction. Research shows that 80 to 90% of women require clitoral stimulation to reach orgasm. This has a biological basis. Both the clitoris and the penis originate from the same embryonic tissue, diverging in development only after sex differentiation. The clitoris, often underestimated as a small external structure, actually extends internally with Y-shaped branches that embrace the vaginal canal. As a result, stimulation of the clitoris, direct or indirect, remains the central pathway to female orgasm. Another critical factor is foreplay. Women typically need 20 to 30 minutes to achieve full arousal. During this time, the vagina lubricates naturally, expands, and lengthens in preparation for penetration. Skipping foreplay can lead to pain, discomfort, and even micro tears in the vaginal tissue, which may reduce desire in the long term. Thus, foreplay is not an optional prelude but an integral part of healthy sexual experience. However, natural lubrication is not always sufficient. Many women, especially those experiencing menopause, postpartum recovery, or side effects from certain medications, may encounter vaginal dryness. In these cases, lubricants become essential. Water-based lubricants are widely available and affordable, though they dry quickly and require reapplication. Silicone-based lubricants provide longer-lasting glide but should not be used with silicone toys. Oil-based lubricants offer endurance but can weaken latex condoms, raising the risk of breakage. Understanding these options allows women to choose the most suitable solution for comfort and pleasure. By combining clitoral stimulation, adequate foreplay, and the mindful use of lubricants when necessary, women can maximize their sexual satisfaction. Just as importantly, this knowledge empowers male partners to better support their loved ones, enhancing intimacy and mutual trust. Sixth way, male performance and relaxation. In modern culture, men often bear immense pressure to perform sexually to achieve an erection quickly, sustain it, and deliver maximum pleasure. Yet, science makes it clear, sexuality is not a flawless machine. Erections may falter, ejaculation may occur sooner than expected, and these variations are entirely normal. Viewing such moments as failures only fuels stress, creating a vicious cycle that worsens sexual performance. One of the most common factors affecting male sexual function is stress. When the body is under stress, the sympathetic nervous system activates, releasing cortisol and redirecting blood flow to the muscles in preparation for fight or flight. This diversion means less blood reaches the genital area, making arousal and erection more difficult. Thus, relaxation becomes as important as technique in supporting male sexual health. Practical methods for stress reduction before intimacy include massage, which relaxes muscles while deepening emotional connection, yoga, which enhances body awareness, and meditation, which calms the mind and fosters focus on the present. All of these techniques encourage the parasympathetic nervous system, the state of rest and digest, which is essential for erections and sexual readiness. It is equally important to recognize that sexuality is not defined solely by penile function. Even if an erection is not sustained, intimacy can continue through touch, oral sex, or the use of toys. This flexibility relieves the burden of performance and broadens the range of experiences available to couples. In summary, male sexual ability should not be measured only by performance metrics. True intimacy lies in understanding, relaxation, and shared enjoyment of the moment. When men learn to release pressure and embrace relaxation, they not only improve physiological outcomes but also strengthen emotional connection with their partners. Seventh way, scheduling intimacy. In the early stages of a relationship, intimacy often feels spontaneous, driven by novelty, high hormonal activity, and a sense of constant discovery. Yet over time, daily responsibilities such as work, children, and household tasks compete for attention. Spontaneous desire tends to fade, not because attraction disappears, but because the environment no longer provides the space for intimacy to flourish naturally. This is why deliberately scheduling intimacy is not only practical but also transformative for long-term relationships. Many couples initially resist the idea of scheduling intimacy, fearing it might make sex feel forced or mechanical. In reality, the opposite is true. Setting aside intentional time communicates priority. It signals that your partner and your relationship matter as much as meetings, deadlines, or family obligations. It is not about penciling in sex as a chore, but about creating uninterrupted space where closeness and connection can thrive. To make scheduled intimacy work, couples should treat it as a ritual rather than a duty. That could mean turning off phones, dimming the lights, or preparing a comfortable environment that fosters relaxation. Some couples may use the time to cuddle, exchange massages, or simply talk openly without pressure that intimacy must lead to intercourse. This flexibility removes anxiety and builds anticipation instead. In fact, psychology research shows that anticipation itself enhances dopamine release, boosting both arousal and satisfaction. When couples embrace scheduling as a strategy, they reclaim ownership of their intimacy despite the chaos of modern life. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment that may never arrive, they create opportunities to reconnect. Over time, these intentional moments serve as reminders of the bond they share, reinforcing not only sexual satisfaction but also emotional partnership. 8th way, mindfulness in intimacy. Mindfulness, often associated with meditation and stress reduction, has profound applications in sexual intimacy. At its core, mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When applied to sex, it transforms intimacy from a distracted activity into a deeply embodied experience. In practice, mindfulness during intimacy means tuning into sensations, the warmth of a touch, the rhythm of breathing, the softness of skin, or the unique scent of your partner. Inevitably, stray thoughts may arise, work deadlines, chores, or unresolved worries. Instead of fighting these distractions, mindfulness teaches us to acknowledge them briefly and gently redirect attention back to the present. This shift reduces performance anxiety and enhances pleasure by grounding the body and mind in the here and now. Scientific studies on mindful sexuality show measurable benefits. Women who practice mindfulness report higher levels of arousal and satisfaction, while men experience improved control and reduced anxiety about performance. This happens because mindfulness activates brain regions linked with sensory awareness while quieting areas responsible for self-criticism. In other words, it quiets the inner critic that often interferes with intimacy. Couples can cultivate mindful intimacy through simple practices. Begin with slow breathing together, synchronizing inhales and exhales. Explore touch without a specific goal, noticing textures and sensations rather than rushing toward orgasm. Eye contact can also be a powerful mindful exercise, creating a sense of vulnerability and closeness. Over time, these practices rewire the brain to associate intimacy with calm presence rather than stress or distraction. Ultimately, mindfulness enriches sex by shifting the focus from outcome to experience. When partners fully immerse themselves in the moment, intimacy becomes not only more pleasurable but also a form of meditation and active emotional and physical connection that nourishes both body and soul. 9th way, the benefits of physical exercise. Exercise is widely recognized for its role in improving cardiovascular health, reducing stress, and enhancing overall vitality. What is less often highlighted is its powerful influence on sexual health. Regular physical activity directly impacts both desire and performance by optimizing circulation, hormonal balance, and psychological well-being. From a physiological standpoint, exercise improves blood flow throughout the body, including to the pelvic region, which is essential for arousal in both men and women. Aerobic activities such as swimming, running, or brisk walking strengthen the heart and vascular system, ensuring better erectile function in men and increased genital sensitivity in women. Resistance training, such as weightlifting, promotes testosterone production, a hormone closely linked with libido for all genders. Beyond the physical, exercise plays a vital role in reducing stress and elevating mood. When we move, the body releases endorphins, natural chemicals that reduce pain and enhance pleasure. Combined with lower cortisol levels, this creates a mental state more conducive to intimacy. In fact, couples who exercise together often report greater relationship satisfaction, as shared activities build teamwork and positive association. Interestingly, exercise has also been linked to stronger orgasms. Studies suggest that physical fitness enhances muscular control, particularly in the pelvic floor, which contributes to intensity and duration of climax. Practices like yoga and Pilates are especially effective, as they combine physical strengthening with relaxation techniques, teaching awareness of breath and body. Couples can integrate exercise into their intimacy by making it part of foreplay, working out together, then enjoying a shower or relaxation ritual. This sequence not only boosts arousal but also creates anticipation. Exercise thus becomes more than a health routine, it transforms into a shared pathway toward intimacy. passion, and emotional bonding. In short, physical exercise is not just about looking fit, it is a holistic tool that strengthens the body, calms the mind, and elevates sexual satisfaction. For couples seeking to revitalize their intimacy, movement may be one of the most enjoyable and sustainable solutions. Sexuality is an integral part of overall health. It provides not only pleasure but also emotional nourishment, stress relief, and deeper relational bonds. When you take time to care for your body, listen to your needs, and share openly with your partner, you are investing in a foundation of long-term health and happiness. Nurturing your intimate life should never be seen as a luxury or left to chance. It is both a right and a responsibility to yourself. Always remember, you deserve a fulfilling, joyful, and loving sexual life. Thank you for listening until the very end. If today's story has gently stirred your heart, whether through an old memory, a present feeling, or something never spoken into words, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Intimate wisdom is where we come together to touch the hidden corners of love, affection, and sexuality, things that may seem private, yet are in fact the very core of happiness. I wish you to always love deeply, live truthfully, and find yourself in every glance, every touch, and every trembling heartbeat. Affectionate greetings.